Hi and welcome back to Japan Soul Traveler. Today it's a very rainy day, so the light is not okay. So I apologize for any strange effects light-wise. Today's video is going to be about anthropology. We shall call it Anthropology 101, I guess. The reason why I decided to start this new series is because I just came back from Japan and I went there mainly for a brief fieldwork in the north of Japan, so in Aomori again. I started thinking about fieldwork, the reason behind fieldwork, and lots of fascination for it, and I decided that it might be interesting to share with you what is anthropology, what anthropologists do, and so let's start. First of all, for me it's not that easy to call myself anthropologist because it's a very intense word, and it implies a lot of research, a lot of experience, and a lot of travel. So let's say for me the best definition might be anthropologist to be. When you first approached anthropology, the first things you notice is that there are two kinds of anthropology. The one that is more physical, so the one that studies bones and the body, and it's connected more to maybe also the legal sector. And then there is cultural anthropologies with all its ramification and similar disciplines like social anthropology, religious anthropology, and so on. So while the first one is physical anthropology, is, I would say, completely consecrated to the physical elements of human being, cultural anthropology is all another story. And what I'm interested in is cultural anthropology. There are plenty of definitions that will tell you what cultural anthropology is, but one of the most interesting is that anthropology is the science, the discipline that studies the similarities and the differences between human beings. This, I think, is a very important notion because it introduces two elements, which are similarities and differences, and how these two elements are put together to enforce or to support inequalities, or to support similarities between groups. This definition also starts from the assumption that all human beings are the same, and yet not one of them is like the other, so we are all different. And our, let's say, Western culture is very different from other cultures, so we are destined in our lifetime to experiment differences and to experiment the fact that often diversity is used as the basis for inequalities. If we repeat once again the definition, so anthropology is the study of similarities and differences between the human cultures, there is also another element that is quite interesting and important for me. That is the fact that from time to time, in different areas, in different regions and in different cultures, human beings tend to put the accent on similarities, so to underline the fact that there are similarities between different groups, or underline the differences, so how to say, to give a great deal of importance to the differences between different groups in order to push our own agenda or to underline their own superiority. And so I think that one of the first ideas about anthropology is the fact that anthropology is supposed to answer the question, are we all the same? Are we different? Of course, this is a very huge question, and it's also very difficult one to answer because it implies that you can study and compare lots of different cultures, but I think this can be like the red thread that guide the study, and the anthropologists were guided, at least anthropologists were through the centuries. As I said at the beginning, anthropology studied the differences between culture, the differences and the similarities between cultures. So one of the first things to underline is the fact that anthropology studies not the individual being, the single human being, but a group of people, which means human societies. Studying human societies implies several things. First of all, it means that you have to study the relationship between the human beings that form that society, the social structure, which are the stable system of relationship between the individual and the society, and finally social facts. That's to say, the actual functioning, the material functioning of the relationship structure. Even more, anthropology studies the persistences and the changes in these structures and social effect. I think that for the first introduction to the topic, this could be a very brief beginning, but I don't mean to make a very huge video. Let's say that from this definition and this introduction, there are a few other threads that can be put together. For example, the notion of human beings. What is a human species, and what's the relationship between the human species and the other animal species? And then how the notion of humanity changes between different cultures, and how this very notion can lead to different approach to the other groups. So a possibility for a more open approach, or the risk for a very hard closure. And so I think that these are all very interesting topics that we can go through the next time, but for the first time it was very important to me to introduce this very brief definition, because I think that anthropology might be one of the most interesting and useful tools to face changing in the modern world, and also to get prepared to meet other people, other cultures, and to be prepared in the sense that it will allow you not to be scared, but to understand analytically also the differences, and to understand the similarities, and to understand how these two elements are often human-made. So there is no such thing as nature when you talk about anthropology, and this may also help to put aside fear and prejudice and a lot of other very, very ugly stuff that will make human relationship very difficult. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. So if you did, thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There might be some very interesting video coming up, and thanks for watching, and I talk to you soon. Bye.